back to OBS?
Yes. Wait, pop out.
All right. Hello, everybody.
All right. Have to do everything with a mouse now, and it makes life a little bit more difficult.
I actually like it better because I've gotten used to it. All right. Is that reasonably?
I think that's perfectly fine. Okay.
Welcome to Deep South Homestead.
Yes. Yes, 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 yes.
I don't know that I can even see it for the most part. I can see it pretty good.
I'm going to shrink down where you just be way down here higher than me. I'll be way down here.
Oh.
Oh, man. We got somebody from South Mississippi, the Raisin Ronies, and yeah, all of them coming in here tonight.
Lewis from Mississippi.
She's from Mississippi, from northeast North Carolina, and middle of Georgia. Hey, Climax, North Carolina. Man. Hot and humid Mississippi. Now that would be
Mississippi too.
That would be an honest answer right there. Yes. Stonewall, Mississippi. Tylertown, Mississippi. Mr. Ray.
Michigan.
Going way up there once.
Hello, coffee.
Yeah.
I got water.
Edgefield, South Carolina. D from Louisiana.
See, we got howdy. She's always howdy.
Oh man, I tell you what.
Let me see what they saying to me right quick.
It has been so hot, guys, honest to goodness. But I think I told everybody that was going to happen, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. I gotta put this somewhere because they're gonna be messaging back and forth, and I'll hear ding ding.
Put your shirt over it, cover it up.
That'll help.
There you go.
All right. My moderator's gonna be dinging in the background, I guess.
Yeah.
So we have 2 books we're going to be giving away later tonight, and both of them are on herbs. There's something that we haven't given away before.
We haven't given away, and these are really good herb books here.
Yeah, so
we want to see everybody be able to take care of themselves, because guys, it's fixing to collapse. Everything is fixing to fall down around you. We're going to be like the walls of Jericho here in the United States of America. Just wanted to have to get up and get that phone out of here.
What's going on with our door?
I don't know. Probably the earth is shifting. But anyway, just wanted to fix to get rid of that telephone. I've already got rid of mine. I don't even own one no more. So I feel a lot better. Because I spent most all of my life without a phone. And I don't know why people think today you have to have one. I mean, I don't know. It is what it is, I reckon.
Well, the deal is I have to keep up with people, and they have to keep up with me.
I could care less.
Yeah, I have to keep up with you too. That's it.
I know.
Okay.
Gummy berries and potatoes are planted finally, JM said. So, well, guys, I pulled up all of our English peas 2 days ago. They bit the dust. Of course, that's not unusual here in the Deep South. It's done got so hot here till,
and the potatoes in your greenhouse, we got
to dig the potatoes in the greenhouse tomorrow. That's right.
They're all dead and dying.
We won't be planting anymore because we're going into the summer months now. And I can't tell them that we already have, but
what?
I can't tell them we have that.
We've mentioned it.
Have we?
We just hadn't. I'm going to put a video up.
You're going to put a video up? Okay.
Y'all, if I get 5 minutes to do something, I'm going to make a video. Otherwise, y'all going to get me doing like everybody else, walking around going, hey, y'all see what Danny's doing?
Yeah, Danny just finished a project this week that I have been waiting, seemed like forever to get it done. It took me, how long do you think it took me to do this project?
Maybe 3 weeks.
About... probably a good 3 weeks.
Well, counting the slab and everything, maybe.
Oh, counting the slab, 4 weeks. A good month.
Yeah, about a
good month for me to finish this project. Because I'm getting old. I mean, heck, I can't.
Well, it was a difficult project.
It was difficult, but
I like really. It was a puzzle. Let's say
it was a puzzle. And since I messed my knee and my neck and back and all up, I don't have the strength I used to, and I had to pick these giant pieces of it up and put it together.
So he built a walk-in cooler using old panels that were given to us.
Yeah.
And we had to order the pieces. But it's like having a jigsaw puzzle with no picture.
With no picture to go by.
And you have all these
no instructions.
And so he would go online and look at it and see what pieces he needed and order those pieces. And then what he didn't have, he built some of it out of wood. And so hopefully I will get a video start to finish because it looked pretty rough.
Yeah, it looked pretty bad to start with.
And it looks amazing right now. So somebody wants to know about the yellow wax beans. So you want to tell them a little bit about our yellow wax beans?
Well.
Some while ago.
I actually ate some of them, whatever they were.
They're not yellow.
They're not yellow, that's for sure. They actually didn't taste too bad. We actually, Wanda picked them this morning by herself. I had to take care of the other gardens. We got like 4 or 5 different gardens. I was taking care of one, she was taking care of another one. We actually ended up with 3 different kinds of beans off of that one long row.
We actually put a video up on Patreon where you did explain what the company said, but you want to go ahead and tell
I'll tell
them too what the company actually said.
Yeah, I'll tell the YouTube channel here. I did call Jung Seed Company and I talked to them personally. They were very cordial. They were very nice to me, which don't mean a hill of beans to me, but I told them, I said, look, you know, I got 5 packs of seeds from y'all, and y'all told me, and it's actually wrote on the pack, that they're supposed to be the Kentucky Pole Yellow Wax Bean. And they said, yes, sir. I told them, I said, well, they're not. You know, I said, they're green, they're flat, they have strings, some are motley colored, some are dark green and long like a blue lake.
Some of them were rounded, some of them are flat, some have strings, some don't. Some look almost translucent, like you can see the bean.
See the bean in them. If you hold them up, look at them, you can see the bean through them.
But it's dark green everywhere else. It's weird.
It's really weird. And they said, oh, I'm sorry, what lot was that? And I said, that was lot R. And they said, well, is all your packs lot R? I said, yes, they are. And they said, well, I hate to hear that. And I stopped them right there and I told them, I said, well, let me tell you something. I actually done a YouTube video about it and I wasn't happy about what happened because I was really counting on these beans this year to have seed to save for the next year. And they're like, oh, well, I'm so sorry. What we'll do, Mr. King, is we will send you 5 new packs. And I said, well, that's great. I said, can you promise me that they will be the Kentucky Yellow Wax Beans? No, sir, we can't do that. I said, well, why not? You're a seed company and you're selling them as the Kentucky Yellow Wax Pole Beans. Well, we can't guarantee you now that it's going to be a yellow wax bean. I said, I still don't get it. Why not? And they said, well, you might end up with packs that's the same lot number and have the same problem. I said, well, send me a different lot number. Oh, we can't do that because we don't have time to go out and pick through it for every customer. So we're just going to send you some. And what we're going to do is I'm going to send this on up to the higher people in our company and I'll have them email you.
Oh, and she watched the video too.
Oh, no, I didn't watch the video.
She did.
Oh, yeah, I actually told her. And she said, well, how will we know exactly what you're talking about? I said, and I gave them the URL link to our video. And while I was on the phone with them, they watched the video while I was on the phone. And they said, well, there's definitely no denying that they're not the right bean.
They're not yellow.
They're not yellow. And she told me, she said, they resemble the Italian, she called some kind of Italian Roma bean or something. I said, well, I would agree with that, but there's just one problem. There's 3 different kinds of beans on these things. And she said, well, was all the seed the same color? I said, every one of them looked just the same. And she said, well, we'll have to get back with you on that one. So she took my email address and sent me a long email back, talk from the people in the company, what do you call them, the horticulturists in the company?
Yeah, the top horticulturist
sent us a personal message and told us that they were
Reversion.
Reversion had taken place. And I'm very familiar with reversion. I told him, I said, no.
And the thing that they sent, the explanation said nothing about yellow beans turning green or anything like that. It all talked about heat would do something to them. It also talked about
lack of water. I mean, all kinds of things. I mean, I knew all this stuff. And I told him back, I said, I understand everything about reversion. I said, the only thing is you didn't answer the question that I asked. Why are they green and not yellow? Well, we didn't get a response back on that one. But I know what it is because I've done this too many years. They planted these beans, or whoever grew them, planted them, and they didn't keep them 100 yards or more apart, and they cross-pollinated, and now what we've got is a pole bean that is a hybrid. It's been crossed between 3 or 4 different beans, and that's what they're selling. So guys, do not buy
trans beans.
Yeah. Transgender beans is what we're going to call them. Do not buy from Jung Seed. I'm going to tell you. Because Jung Seed looked at me and told me, said, well, I see where you bought from Shermway's and all these other places. And I said, give me just a minute. And I went and looked, and I come back, I said, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, y'all are owned by Monsanto. Oh, yes, sir. That's the mother company. And I told him, I said, well, that pretty much explains everything I need to know right now. I told him, I said, tell you what I'm going to do. If you send me these 5 packs, I'm going to test some of them in my high tunnel. And if they're not the pole bean that I want, I'm going to go on my YouTube channel, and anybody who wants them just because they want to grow some green beans, I'm going to sell them to them. How does that suit your fancy? Well, you know what, Mr. King? I think that would be the best thing for you to do, being you're not satisfied with these beans.
Is to sell them on.
Is to sell them on your YouTube channel, because there's somebody out there that will appreciate them. And I told him, I said, you know what? Of course, I can't tell y'all what actually happened, but we had a come to Jesus meeting.
And we might just end up with some giveaways or something. If somebody wants some transgender.
If somebody wants some transgender beans and you don't mind having transgender beans, we more than likely will probably be selling them on our channel. And if y'all want them, well, I mean, you know, I'm going to test them. I'll look and see if they're from a different lot. And if they are, I'll test them. But if they're from our lot, I won't even worry about it because I know they're going to be just like the ones already planted.
Yes, they sent it in writing. They did.
Yes, they sent it in writing.
And
yes.
over on Patreon, Danny did a short video, and I put the link to the article they sent on.
It's on Patreon.
On reversion.
Yeah. We put everything over on Patreon. The article that they sent me.
Yeah.
What their scientist or whatever them goofballs were.
Horticulturist.
Well, he calls himself a scientist. He has a degree, which means absolutely nothing. You know, so, you know, do not buy Jung seeds. I'm just going to tell y'all, don't do it.
See, they're all saying, no thank you, our seeds. I think we stuck with them.
Hey, come on, guys, please can't take these seeds from... No, I'm just joking.
What we can have a seed giveaway.
We can. You know what? We can put so many seeds in every giveaway package we have, and it's kind of like a China seeds. You know, we can give away the China seeds. There we go.
On Etsy, I've got a lot of people's addresses. I can just mail out.
Well, we have a lot of y'all's addresses, you know, because we've mailed y'all a lot of stuff. We could just mail y'all some seeds, you know.
Some transgender seeds.
Yeah, we give y'all some of these transgender seeds.
We gotta get off the
We got to get off the pole beans or we're going to be stuck on a pole here.
It's not good.
Oh, man.
What does reversion have to do with transgender? I don't know.
I guess you can revert back to, you can become a transgender, and when you get older in life, you realize you made a mistake, and you can revert back to what you originally was, as long as you didn't take the parts off.
Okay.
I gotta stop. Okay, because I'll get carried away here.
Oh my goodness. All right.
Oh boy.
Let's see.
Okay, we gotta get on a happy note here, okay?
Big Joe. He's in Washington.
Oh, man.
Big Joe sent...
Big Joe sent us this stuff.
Yes. We got some.
We got tempted. We got tempted here really bad.
This is from Granite Falls, Washington. Timberline bees. So he sent us some honey. He said this is the best honey he's found around in Washington there. So we're going to try that.
Yeah.
Then he sent me some caramel popcorn. This is put out by Killian Corn. Think that's how you say it?
Yeah, spelled with a K.
I opened this and eat that much out of it yesterday.
What?
And a while ago I opened it and I said, Danny, what does this remind you of?
Cracker Jacks.
It smells just
like Cracker Jacks.
Only there's no prize in the package. But it tastes good.
Look at that. Abama Gardner says, roll on the floor laughing. Don't take the parts off. Yeah.
Okay. We got caramel almond. I hadn't opened. We got caramel apple. That ought to be interesting.
That would be an interesting.
Now, this is one I'm wanting to try. He said this is his favorite. Big Joe said he likes
the
huckleberry. And see, I've been picking huckleberries around here, and I didn't know you could make huckleberry popcorn, but that's pretty interesting.
It is.
So thank you, Big Joe.
Oh man, that's what J.M. Bagley said. Bagby says huckleberry is his favorite.
Really?
Yeah. Okay.
All right, just call the mystery seeds and give them away.
Nice.
We may have to do that. We may have to come.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh man. I bet the caramel corn, Miss Wanda said, is delicious. Now, I personally have not tried it myself because I have tried my best not to sin.
That stuff is good.
You will sin.
Right now, I would sit here.
She would eat it. She would eat it the whole pack while we was doing a live stream.
Oh, I would. It is that good.
It's that good.
So we have a lot of people. I'm not catching things. It's just going by.
We had
you have to ask if you.
Oh man!
I had blueberries today. Danny told me he ate blueberries.
I did. I was mowing the blueberry orchard today, and I looked on the tree. I was like, "What in the world?" I looked up there, and there was blueberries hanging on my trees, and I'm like, I looked at my watch, and I said, "No, this ain't been no time travel going on here. I ain't went ahead in time. Our blueberries are getting ripe, and they're like what?
2 weeks early.
They're 2 or 2.5 weeks early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What started it this morning, we were over at the garden on the hill where I was picking the beans. He came up, and we have a little mini tree over there. I don't know what variety it is. And I turned around, I says, oh my goodness. And I found 2 blueberries ripe on it. And I gave him one and I ate one.
Yeah.
And I said, if these are right, do you know what that means? So later today, he did check and he had some, and he come in bragging on his blueberries.
Yeah.
So when I went to shut the gate a while ago, I stopped by the blueberry patch, and I probably picked 10 or 12, and they were so good.
They're so good, man. Oh man, them things are just wonderful. I mean, it's just great. It is great. Oh.
And so I've been picking huckleberries.
No, we got huckleberries by the
they
buckets.
Are amazing.
The trees are just black, hanging with huckleberries.
And I've been picking, and I didn't get to pick a lot the last week because we've been so busy. And Danny come by and says, that tree out there is just loaded. So I went out there and picked about a quart. And if anybody's ever picked huckleberries, you know to pick a quart of huckleberries is crazy. And I picked it, what, in 30 minutes?
Oh, yeah. But it's, Vanelli says they're picking blueberries in North Florida.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. I can put poor country boy trades a family for a handful of magic beans and grow to a massive towering beanstalk. These might be those magic beans.
Okay, so people are asking questions, but I have no clue because I can't find my little thing.
What are you looking for?
I was going to say, y'all going to have to put questions and bring them back.
Let's see here. We're going straight into summer.
Smoked salmon.
I've had smoked salmon. I actually like salmon. Wanda don't care for it.
I'm not a salmon person, but he likes it.
Yeah, we're going to go. Guys, do y'all remember back here a while back? I made a comment to y'all. I told you everything's going to be extreme. We'd have all of our seasons, and sometimes one day. You know, I told you it's going to go from being really cold to being really hot. Do we remember those times? They're actually coming to fruition. Let me tell you something else. The temperature is this summer is going to be ungodly hot.
You know, it was today.
It's going to be hotter than you have ever seen in your life. Now I'm talking about triple digits. Last year it got to 126 here. This year it has already in some parts of the United States done been in the 140s. And my friends, it's going to go even higher.
Somebody's asking, we have a lot of wind every day. We have lately.
Even until today and yesterday.
The last 2 days, it's been slight.
Now, in the evenings, it gets breezy. Right before dark, it'll get breezy. But up during the day, it wasn't blowing today or yesterday. But now, before then, it's been just blowing up a storm. But no rain.
Yeah. Y'all remember Miss Lippy. She's not in here right now. She's been sick the last 2 or 3 days, and I don't know if she's going to make it or not tonight. So her eyes are bothering her, and she's not being able to keep her eyes on the chat.
Kathleen says, when do peaches start producing fruit? Most of them around 5 years. Some of them will do it a little bit earlier, but most of them are going to be around 5 years. Now, if you plant a dwarf peach, it can do it in as little as 2 years.
Did you tell them that the heat was it the heat index went over 100?
Our heat index is already 103 today.
Last 3 days.
Last 3 days we've been 101, 103, 102. Our heat indexes has been.
And the temperatures have been high 90s. I mean mid 90s, wasn't it?
Yeah, we've been in the mid 90s. Yes.
Yeah.
Let's see there.
And
Resiness says we're still building a fire. Well, I told y'all about that too. Now, I told you anything above that 45th parallel, it's going to get very, very difficult to grow anything because you're going to have a hard time warming up.
Farmer Bill said that his goji plants have doubled almost in size, lots of leaves. Now, mine have put on quite a few leaves, but they're not busting it, but I've got roots. In the bottom of my pot, I can see roots coming out, so mine have already started making roots.
Jeff, I will do my best to answer a biblical question as long as it don't get too controversial.
What do y'all think about the picture of the moon I sent you guys? Okay, I get so many pictures till I won't know for sure. I'm not sure which one was yours, so you would have to be a little more specific because I've gotten several pictures of moons. People are sending them going and coming.
Yes, we was in a solar minimum when the Dust Bowl came through. Yes. Now, we wasn't in a grand solar minimum, but we was in a solar minimum.
Yes, Eagle Lover. We are watching the Gulf. We do know that there's a possible hurricane coming in. It's kind of early.
It's supposed to be
next weekend.
Next weekend, but I really believe it's going to go more toward Florida, to be honest with you.
Yeah. And if it does, we get maybe some rain out of it. We need rain.
As a matter of fact, I've been in contact with Mark, the Weatherman Plus, and he's been kind of giving me a little bit of information about what to expect. Let's see here. I mean,
Palmetto Paratrooper says, I shoved an elderberry stick in the ground about 6 years ago, and now it's taller than the house. You've got some nice elderberries.
I've got elderberries growing down by my pond. I just went down there and stuck some in the ground. They're coming up everywhere. They're actually blooming already. I mean, it's just crazy. I'm going to have to dig them up because I don't want them where they're at.
Well, he just wanted them to root.
Yeah, I just want to root them. Yeah, they rooted real well. Let's see here.
I know Jan, Not a Real Farm, she's in Canada. They had 60-mile-per-hour winds yesterday and some severe weather. It knocked over trees. She had trees down her yard. The power's out all around her. So we need to remember Canada too, because they had some really tough. She said the winds were really scary.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm in Florida. What's coming?
Possible hurricane.
Possible hurricane in around the 24th, 25th, somewhere in that time. It should be a possible one now. I'm not promising you it's going to happen, but they're talking about a possible major hurricane that could come in if all the conditions fall into place.
What do you know about muscadines? I didn't have a chance to prune them. Think they'll still produce good. Just bought the place and they are way overgrown.
You know what? Just leave it alone this year. Now, once the muscadines is on the vine, you can clip the little ends off of the runners to keep them from growing any more and put more energy back into the muscadine, kind of like pruning grapevines a little bit. You can do that. Now, they'll bleed a little bit, so don't do too much because it'll bleed in the hot summer, but and it'll kill some of the plant back. But just be careful about what you're doing, because I prune mine back in the summer all the time.
Yeah, they're talking about the picture of the dust storm. Danny saw those videos.
That was really weird. I saw it go from being daylight, pitch dark in just a matter of minutes. G-Off Outdoors, the best way to keep ants off of raspberries, it depends on what kind of ants you're talking about, whether they're the black ants, sugar ants, fire ants, red ants. I mean, sugar and boric acid is probably one of the best, if it's not fire ants, it's probably one of the best ways to keep them off. But it's kind of hard to say not knowing all the conditions.
How do you can blueberries? I take and do several ways. You can simply put your blueberries in some water and can them. You don't have to put sugar in them. Danny's done that before. You water bath can them. And I don't know how many minutes, because don't ask me, I don't know off the top of my head. But when I can them, I usually put a little bit of sugar, at least a quarter to a half a cup to a pint, because I like them already sweet. But one way I do blueberries is I make blueberry jam, because I can use it on anything. And then I make blueberry syrup and blueberry jelly. So we can blueberries in a multitude of ways.
Jeff Outdoors said small brown ants. It doesn't tell me anything. Just boric acid and sugar is what I would try first. Just mix up like a paste and put it around the bottom of the plant, and that's usually the best thing to keep ants off, as long as it's not fire ant.
Yeah, Palmetto paratrooper said when he was in Afghanistan, he saw a sandstorm coming. He said he's never seen anything like that before or since. They're very not popular was the word I'm looking for. They're very common in the desert area, but for mid-America, it's happened before though, guys. Why would you want more if they're a pest? Oh, she's asking David Smith something. Have you ever steam canned? I got a steam canner and looking forward to using it for my jams and jellies. No, I've never steam canned. I just water bath. Okay. All right. With the sun and heat being so intense, will the 50% shade cloth be too much? That's Lou.
Ours is 40%, Lou, and it works out really, really good. 50 with the intensity of the sun that we got coming might still be okay.
All right, let's see. Have you seen the shed to house bills, and what do you think of them?
You talking about barn dominiums? I mean,
no, like shed conversions.
Oh, like shed. Like we almost did that for our cabin.
We have
it depends on what the climate you live in. In our climate here in the deep south, the ceiling would be too close to you, and the heat would just get to you eventually. The air conditioner would run continually. That's why we decided not to do it and put the very high, steep pitched roof in our cabin where we can get rid of the heat. And it still gets kind of warm in our cabin even. But if you lived in where it's a cooler climate, you might stand a better chance of it working.
Do I have a video on making blueberry syrup? I am not 100% sure, because when I make blueberry jelly and it doesn't gel, it ends up being syrup. So it's the same principle, basically, that you don't have, in blueberry syrup, you don't have to put the sure gel in it. But when I make jelly sometimes, like my Mayhaw jelly, it is a soft gel. It is gelled, but it's not that hard gel like you get like Smucker's or something. And some of my jellies do get that hard gel, and some of them don't, and they turn out to be syrup. So we shoot for jelly, and we end up with syrup.
Sometimes we end up with syrup. Yeah, if the pectin isn't just right in it, you know.
What is better, the white or black shade color?
The black. We have both. The black. I'm gonna tell you now. Don't even mess with the white.
We also have the black for my high tunnel. We just haven't swapped it out. Our thought process was we would leave the white on until it totally wears out, and that way then we would put the black on. So this is 2 years now, almost 2.
Gerhard says, "Can I water bath strawberries?" Yeah,
Yes.
Yes, you can. We've done. Now the color will leave them.
There's not much way to keep strawberries red. I know people, I don't know what they do to keep them red, but the strawberries I've always done, the color washes out of them. So I don't know how to make them stay pretty.
Christina, we have powdery mildew here so bad. We've tried everything. They don't nothing work. I mean, it just runs its course. That's the reason we had to take out our English peas, because the powdery mildew killed them, every one.
And somebody was asking about aphids. They were having a lot of problems with aphids.
We had some problems earlier this year.
I've got some in my high tunnel on the, I think it's back on the eggplant again.
Oh.
So I'm fixing to have to, I just noticed it earlier.
You have to use some neem oil on it again.
Yeah, I used neem and it seemed to have helped. And plus I took out a lot of plants that had the aphids on them because they were winter plants and they were about time to go. So when something started happening, I just took them all out.
Holler Homestead said, "What's going on with the tiny ants in our compost? How do I get rid of them?" Lots of times those ants just come with the compost. I mean, that's the problem. It's actually illegal to transport compost with ants in them. I can't really give you an honest answer on how to deal with that, other than some kind of poison. You know what I mean? Because it's just, the black ants are the worst.
J.M. Bagby said he had used the EMP shield thing and saved a little money. Thank you.
Well, you're more than welcome.
We've got one to go on our new tractor.
We got one
just haven't got it done yet.
Ain't had time.
I looked at Danny yesterday. I said, "You need to get that on my tractor."
Yeah. When planting plum trees, you need to plant more than one tree. Yes, anytime you plant, even if it's self-pollinating, it's better if you'll plant 2 or more of them in the same proximity, because it just does a better job.
Yes, I have made strawberry fig jam, and I have been freeze drying my strawberries. I freeze dried a lot of my strawberries this year, and that seems to be the best way for us to save strawberries.
What is the expected yield per sweet potato slip? Now Jody, that depends on conditions all the way around.
And the type.
And the type sweet potato that it is. And I have made up to 10 and 15 pounds per slip. And I have made as little as 2 pounds per slip. It just depends on conditions.
How do you control or get rid of cucumber beetles?
Well, in the old days, we used 7 dust, but nowadays, you just going to have to hand pick them. Okay. I found termites in wood chips from HD before. Is that illegal too? To transport any insect anywhere is technically illegal to do that. That's why they've stopped us here in the state of Mississippi from being able to sell sweet potato slips anywhere, or bringing peach trees in from other states, all kind of stuff. They've stopped all this stuff.
That's how come some places will not sell to certain states. You have to look, like if you go on, say, Gurney's, for example, and you live in Florida and you want to order a certain tree and it says it's not available to ship to Florida, that's because Florida has some rule or regulation against it. Because when we were looking for trees 2 years ago, we went on Grower Solution. They had trees at the time, and there were quite a few of the trees that they would not ship to Mississippi.
Yeah, especially peach trees and stuff.
Yeah. So let's see. I have a pear tree alone. It is getting pollinated by the Bradford pear. Is that okay?
As long as it's getting pollinated and it works, that's all that matters.
Yeah. All right, so
All
I'm
right.
going to show yes, this is one
Okay.
of the books that we've got. It's called Herbal Antibiotics. And I was looking through it earlier. I got one, and then they sent me one to give away. And in this book, it says, What Big Pharma Doesn't Want You to Know, 45 of the most powerful herbal antibiotics for overcoming any ailment by Mary Jones. I put a link in the description for this book too, but we're going to give one away. I was looking at it, and in here, to me, 2 or 3 of the first things that they tell about herbal antibiotics. Number 1, garlic. If you don't have garlic on your homestead, you ain't a homestead. You better be going and getting you some garlic so you can say you're a homestead. Because garlic is number 1, and honey is the other, and onions. That's 3. So you need garlic, onions, and honey for sure on your homestead. Even if you buy your honey somewhere, have some honey. But this gives, what is it, elderberries, lots and lots of information in this book on herbal, where am I at? Herbal antibiotics. I'm not a doctor and I'm not planning on it, but this woman does tell you quite a few things you can use as antibiotics for different illnesses. And then the other book is Heinerman's Encyclopedia of Healing Spices and Herbs, or Herbs and Spices, whichever way. I put a link in the description for this one also. And y'all, this one is just like a huge, I mean, you see how thick it is? There's so many recipes and so much for any and every type of herb out there. This is a wealth of knowledge here. So we'll be giving those away shortly. All right. Somebody wants to know, those above ground sweet potatoes are actually a squash. Thought you might have seen the comments in the video.
We knew that. That's the reason we
They're
ordered
a
them.
winter squash, yes.
They look like an acorn squash. We actually have a bunch of them growing over there that have squash on them now.
And see, I planted some, 3 or 4 years ago?
Yeah.
The reason behind it is when I grew up, my granny always planted what she calls sweet potatoes. Top ground sweet potatoes is what she called them. Top ground sweet potatoes.
That's what they're called.
And I had never had a true sweet potato pie. My granny and my mama always made top ground sweet potato pies. And so when we went to church socials and people made the true sweet potato pies, I wouldn't eat them because they didn't taste the same. They have 2 totally different tastes. And so I planted some a few years ago and saved a few seed from it. But Danny found these Thelma Sanders seeds, and he ordered those so we would have some. But I do have mine saved too. Who won the sunflowers contest you all had? That's a good question. I never did hear if anybody won it.
Yeah. We never did know. It wasn't us. We know that.
We didn't win anything.
We didn't win nothing because nobody, or if we did, nobody told us we did. Let's put it that way. Is there a garlic that's better than other garlics? Natalie, it just all depends on what you like in a garlic. You got hard neck, soft neck. You got
You harvested garlic.
I actually harvested garlic today. Yes, I did.
And got quite a bit more to harvest.
I got a lot more to harvest. Now we got the elephant garlic because we've tried all the other ones and they just don't work here.
They'll grow, but not well. You don't get those big old nice cloves. We got little small things, and but he harvested some of our elephant garlic, and you said there's a lot of corms.
There was tons of corms I put back in the ground. I probably put close to 50 corms back in the ground, and I didn't do a spot 1.5 feet long.
Yeah. If a novice homesteader could only own one book, what would you recommend?
Oh, probably Carla Emery's Encyclopedia of Country Living.
Yeah, I think she covers most everything in that book. I mean, to me, it's really a really good book. Back to Basics is another one.
Yeah.
We've got
both editions.
in the description. I have listed quite a few of those books that we would recommend, and Back to Basics is one of them. Carla Emery's Encyclopedia of Country Living is another, and I don't remember what other books are down there.
Steve, the Super A is a great tractor. It's just a lot larger than a Cub. I just specifically prefer the Cub over all of them just because it's small. I don't have a big, huge garden. If you've got big fields to do, you know, the Super A is probably fine. I just like the Cub because it's little and I can get in and out of tight places with it. It's easy to work on. You know, all of them have, you know, parts are going to be hard to find for all of them.
What's the best butchering book? What is that book called?
Basic Butchering.
Basic Butchering. I
I
don't remember the author's name, but
yeah, it's called Basic Butchering. It covers anything from chickens, rabbits, ducks, deer, cow, sheep, goat, pig. I mean, it covers all of them.
Yeah. Also, Lucy said that her daughter makes Essiac tea for her husband's cancer. When I studied herbs, I had Essiac tea at my house and made it for 2 or 3 people. And Danny made Essiac tea for Debbie before she passed.
Yeah, we had Essiac tea here.
My mom always had Carla Emery's book on her shelf. Yeah. Which sweet potato is sweeter, the Vardaman or the Georgia Jet? I don't know if I've ever had the Georgia Jet.
We don't grow the Georgia Jet here. We don't even have access to it. Levi said, "Do you know about the Super Cub?" I can't say that I do. I mean, I know a lot about the Cub tractors, but I don't think I've ever seen the word Super Cub mentioned.
What is the #1 issue with the Cub tractor?
The #1 issue with the Cub tractor: finding parts. That's the number.
Good condition.
That are in good working condition. Finding equipment. Let me put not parts, but equipment. You can get all the parts you want real easy, but equipment in working condition.
What's a good prep item this week? Well, this week I went into town.
What is a good prep item for this week? It's got to be something unusual.
Well, I bought dishwashing soap and laundry soap. When I went in,
Blackout curtains.
yeah, I went in and bought several of each because I keep a stash of laundry soap and dishwashing soap. I don't make my own of either one of them, and so I want enough in a stash to have for a while. But blackout curtains is a good one.
Blackout curtains, guys. We've got. Y'all may think I'm joking to you about this. You need to get you some blackout curtains for your house, for every window in the house. You're going to thank me one day if you do it, because there's things coming I can't talk about right here, but there's things coming. You're going to look at me and say, "Oh my gosh, I am so glad I got these blackout curtains." Now, we have them for our cabin and stuff like that. We got blinds on all of our windows. And blinds will work if you like blinds, but blackout curtains will do a better job. Let me say that. And you will thank me one day. Danny, did you ever give your sheep minerals? Yes, sheep have got to have minerals. They're like goats. I mean, goats need copper and stuff like that. You've got to. Our soil is depleted of copper, so we gave them copper boluses and stuff like that. Sheep are the same way. They got to have certain minerals. My cows, I keep protein and minerals to my cows year round. My cows stay fat as all get out.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying that they do have blackout curtains. My daughter, raising Ronies here, makes curtains, or used to. She's got twins now. It's kind of hard to make curtains right now. But she put blackout lining on most all of those curtains when she was making them. Blinds and blackout curtains, yes.
Y'all, I wish I could sit here and tell you of some things, but you're going to need blackout curtains in the future.
Some people are saying you can use bubble foil or styrofoam too.
You could. Either
Yes.
one of them. If you don't mind having bubble foil and styrofoam in your windows, that will work just
Well,
as well.
at that point, I don't think people are really going to care.
They're really not going to care. You can use aluminum foil as far as that goes.
90% of the people put a blanket over their window
Yep.
anyway. So, I mean, prettiness is not going to be their big deal.
Do you pin down your sweet potato runners to increase your crop yield? No, if you want to increase your crop yield when your runners get about 5 or 6 feet long and they've rooted real good, just take your shovel and go along and chop them about 2 foot from the plant and let that vine take off, because then it'll make what's called a vine potato, which will be even more potatoes. Now you'll have to dig the whole field up. You won't be able to just dig right in a row. You'll be able to, do it that way. And they're talking about the baby formula. A person was here the other day talking to me about baby formula, and I told him, I said, just use goat's milk. Goat's milk is naturally homogenized. It's real easy on a baby's stomach. It'll do just as good. As a matter of fact, it's better than any baby formula. I was telling the individual that I was talking to, a baby formula is actually really risky to give to babies now because it's loaded with soy. And soy has tons of estrogen in it. It messes with the thyroid, the endocrine system in the body. It makes young boys feminine, where they're not muscular and masculine like they need to be. And little girls, it makes them mature a lot earlier physically than they should.
Oh, the car windshield blinds. I hadn't thought about that. They're that type thing.
Red Ripper peas are not pole beans. They are actually a bush that grows in the garden. Now their vines will grow up to 30 feet long in a field, but they are not.
You can make them a pole bean.
You could make a pole bean out of them, but they're not a pole bean.
Yeah, you could put them on poles.
Ruth, sheep's milk. Sheep's milk is pretty good. It's high in potassium, but it's pretty good.
Let's see. Walmart is limiting people to 6 cans. But there is none. You can only get 6 cans, but there's none here, so you can't even get the 6 cans.
It really, I'm telling y'all, baby formula is really risky to give to a baby. I'm just going to tell you, it's very risky to give to a baby.
See, a lot of people say using the carnation milk and
use sugar.
K-Row.
The
only problem with that right now is they've changed the formulas from when we were kids. K-Row is not.
K-Row comes from genetically modified corn.
Yeah, so you still got some of the same issues, but it's better than not having anything.
Yeah.
And back in the day, I knew people that use powdered milk. So if you do have powdered milk, again, something sweet. They say not to give babies honey though. I don't understand that, but they do say.
Because it has a bacteria in it, but their system is not designed for bacteria.
So don't be thinking you're doing something good giving your baby honey, because honey is not something that you're supposed to be giving to babies. I think they 1 or 2 years old.
Up to 2 years old.
Yeah.
Breast milk is the best. Yes, it is.
It is. Goat's milk is next.
Yeah.
Yes, my daughter raising Ronies was a lactose. Well, how do you say it?
Lactose intolerant?
No, lactate specialist. I don't know what she can put the term there if she wants to, but she talked to people. She was a counselor with that for several years. So if you have any information or needing any information about all that, contact Amy at Raising Ronies, because it's
evaporated milk, not condensed milk.
Evaporated.
Yeah.
True. I said the condensed milk's sweet. That's anyway.
Sugar. Yeah, that's nasty. That is very unhealthy stuff.
Oh, it's good though.
Yeah.
Would molasses be better than corn syrup?
Yes.
Yes.
Molasses is loaded with good minerals in it that the body needs.
Yeah. Like our cane syrup. Our cane syrup probably wouldn't. It would have a kind of a weird lactation. Yeah. Yes, lactation. That's what I was trying to say. Lactation consultant. Yes. She was a counselor for them.
Yes.
You can't sell goat milk in Texas. Wow. Well, I would.
You need to move then. Getting to be too communistic.
It's got to where it's crazy. Let's see, goat milk for babies. I nursed all 5 of my babies, including the twins. Oh, that's Amy.
Yeah.
All 5 of your babies. You got 7. Where'd the other 2 go? She added the other 2.
There you go.
My daughter can't even keep up with all them babies. All right, so what else? Let me see about what can I do. We've got a question here. I'm gonna throw this question out so my moderators can be hunting answers. And I left my phone in there.
You did?
Okay, I know what it is. I just thought. Okay, so I have an herb garden here outside of our porch where we come in and out at the back. And when I moved here, it wasn't an herb garden. And when I told Danny I wanted an herb garden close to the house, he told me, well, you're going to have to dig all that up and get rid of it, and you can put an herb garden right there. So what did I dig up and move? I didn't throw it away. He told me to throw them all away, but I didn't throw them away. What did I dig up and move to plant an herb garden? And so my moderators are going to be looking for a couple of people to win books tonight.
The question was asked, they have corn about 5 feet tall, it's tasseling, but no silks are coming up. Sometimes the silks don't come up for several days, so don't give up on it just yet. Give it some time, and lots of times the silks won't pop out till, up to, I've seen them go up to a week before they pop out.
Yeah.
And we've been butchering chickens this week.
Oh, Lord.
We get up.
We're halfway.
No, we're not halfway yet. We've been doing 5 and 6 every morning because it's just so hot. We can't, we just can't go longer than that because they just get too hot. And plus, we don't have the refrigerator room to let them rest. But my
feet hurt so bad. I've been on my feet all day for 3 days.
The names are coming through now, so you.
Yeah, Amy and if Lippy may not be typing, but her and Amy are looking for them. So we'll see. They'll, Amy, when you get an answer and you and Lippy have 2 people, just tell me I have it, and then we'll go from there.
Danny, do you grow lima beans, and if so, how? Lima beans is probably the easiest beans in the world to grow. You just get out there and make your row up and plant them about every 4 inches apart. Don't over fertilize them and give them a lot of phosphorus and potassium. Because they're a nitrogen fixer, you don't need a lot of nitrogen in it, and them babies are just Cadillac. Yeah,
I've got some in my high tunnel. They're beautiful. This is the prettiest beans I think I've seen here at Deep South. They're on the back side of my high tunnel, and they're big, luscious plants, and just blooms all up and down all over them. So, and I have a few bean pods already on them, so it's going to be great.
None yet, she said.
I saw one person. All right, go back and look. There was one. I can't go. There we go. I know one. I did see one. When it went through, and I don't know.
What is it?
What did I dig up? You know what I dug up.
Those,
I ain't saying it till we have a winner. Okay. They've given all kinds.
Oh, let's see here.
I know there's one winner. There's another one. Yeah, there's at least. I'm looking to see.
Now, does that count?
Well, right off the bat, there's a couple of people that I guess we'd have to.
Because they're technically in the same family.
Yeah.
But they're not the exact one. It's just
I would say, do we need the exact? If we do, I know there's 2.
There it is right there.
Yeah,
Weavison, maybe? Is that how you say that?
Yeah, and then what was the other one? I'm looking back. The Russell Farmstead.
Yeah.
There's 2 of them. Did you see the 2 I'm seeing? Got them. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't have my phone, so go ahead and put the 2 that you found. I think it's the 2 that I just looked at. It started with a W-E-E.
Weaverson.
And then the Russell Farm.
The Russell Farm, yeah.
Let's see if that's a 2. Okay.
Amy said I messaged you.
Well, I went and put my phone up, so type in the names here. Let's see if she gets what I've got.
The blackout curtains is going to be for the heat. I'm just going to say it's for the heat. I can't tell you why, because I'll get in trouble. But I'm going to tell you the blackout curtains is going to be because of the intense heat.
Miss Vinny. I didn't see Miss Vinny. Okay, I didn't see that. Did you? I mean, but I can't run back as like you did. So she's saying Miss Vinny is one of them. What's the other one?
We don't grow any yellow root here, Mark. We sure don't.
All right, so is Miss Vinny one of them? I didn't see that one, so I don't know. Let me go look right quick since we're having a delayed reaction.
Yeah. How do we know when to pick lima beans, AA? When the pods are completely full and bulged out real big, but not to the point where they're starting to turn yellow or something like that. I mean, that's just when the pods get full. That's all I can tell you.
I don't know what we got going on here.
The house is selling.
All right, Miss Vinny is one of them.
Is the intense heat for all states? Mainly west of the Mississippi River is where the heat, the majority of the heat's going to take place in the early part of the summer. But as the summer goes on, it's going to move east of the Mississippi also. But right now, it's going to be focused more in the southwest, from, let's say, from the 33rd parallel down in the southwest, and it's going to gradually move across and go all the way up to the 45th parallel as the summer goes on. And it's going to go all up in the Midwest and central part of the United States and everything. People's going to see temperatures that's totally, they're going to break records this summer. Have I ever grown fava beans? Yes, I have grown fava beans before.
All right, so the people that won, I hadn't seen if Amy put up 2, but I think there's 3 actually that popped up first, and Miss Vinny is one of them that she saw. We saw Russell Farmstead, and what was the other one? Weaverson. So if all 3 of you would send me your address at deepsouthhomestead@gmail.com, 2 of you will get one of these books, and I have another book that I'll send out. We have some extra books in there that we were going to do some giveaways, so I'll just send a surprise book if you want me to. I'll send them some surprise seeds.
Danny, will the plastic rain barrels like IBC totes melt? No, they're not going to melt. Not that I'm aware of anyway, but it's going to man, I have to bite my tongue on some of this stuff. Somebody want to know how to know when it's time to dig potatoes. So there's it gone to seed. You dig potatoes when the plant begins to die. Now, technically, to be politically correct, you're supposed to leave them in the ground 2 weeks after the plant completely dies and allow it to cure under the soil. We can't do that here where I live at because the fire ants would just eat it full of holes. When they start turning a little bit of a yellow color, we have to get them out of the ground here. So it really depends on where you live at. Is it cool enough that you can leave them in the ground 2 weeks after they've all died? Because technically that is the proper way to do it. Danny, have you ever grown Alabama black-eyed butter beans? We've grown black-eyed butter peas, and we've grown what's called colored butter beans, which is a lima bean, but never have grown any of the black-eyed butter beans, not that I'm aware of.
Which grower sells retail potatoes unwashed for storage? I don't know.
Is it bad to store diesel in a blank liter water reservoir? You have to be careful what you put diesel fuel in. Now, gas is worse than diesel. Diesel will store in things that gas won't store in. But just be careful that it don't leach things out into the fuel that makes it where it's not really good anymore.
Okay, so I dug up daylilies, and I did see lilies, but it needed to be daylilies. So they're checking to make sure which ones are right. But I think the 3 people that we saw will win something. Somebody asked about can you dehydrate peas? I guess you could, but it's
You
the same thing as drying.
It's going to be the same thing as just drying them. I mean,
letting them
just
dry.
let them go to seed, and then put them in the freezer and make sure there's no worms in them, because peas will have worms in them, so you have to put them in the freezer. Are there any concerns using gypsum to raise the calcium levels? Not really. I mean, gypsum is used a lot of times, especially if you have a heavy clay soil that's really packy. Gypsum really helps to break that clay soil down where it's not quite so packy, and plus to give you the calcium that you need.
What's the best way to prep the high tunnels for extreme heat? Make sure you have
have
lots and lots of ways to get air.
A good shade cloth that's the right degree of shade on it.
Roll up
sides, oscillating fans on it. I mean, there's a multitude of ways. Automatic vent openers at the top, things like this.
Have you ever looked into home biogas systems?
Yes, I have. I've looked into those. In our deep south here, it's just not that good.
Okay. Yeah, the Russell Farmstead was one, Miss Vinnie, and then I saw the WEE. I don't remember how it was.
Weebison.
Yeah, WEEIBON.
WEEBIBSON.
Something like that. So those 3 can contact me.
No, we don't lick silver spoons. I mean, I know what you're talking about, but we don't do it.
Let's see. Need to put chairs in the root cellar for hot days. We have chairs in ours because when hurricanes come up, we have to go down and sit sometimes.
Is the aluminate cloth worth the price over the black shade cloth? That would be a good question, Maria, to ask Raisin Ronies. I mean, they probably would be able to better answer that than me.
What?
Would aluminate cloth work better than black shade cloth? I don't know the actual answer, if it's any better or any worse.
Why would Raisin Ronies know the answer?
Because they was into doing curtains.
Oh, you're talking about the curtains.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about shade cloths on the high tunnels. No, you're talking about curtains now. Okay, we swapped subjects.
Yeah.
Okay. Would styrofoam work for the windows?
Yes, you could use styrofoam for the window. Well, yeah, you could use styrofoam.
Is there somewhere local to buy shade cloth?
Lowe's or Home Depot usually carry shade cloth by the foot. You just have to order or go there and get whichever one you need if they have it in stock.
I have canning videos on almost everything. So yes, fresh shelled butter beans, peas, black-eyed peas, butter peas. There should be I have a whole canning playlist.
Yeah.
I've had many people say, will you do this, 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 and this, and can this? I have a canning playlist. There's almost everything either on Deep South or Crazy Days. How deep should a root cellar be, in your opinion?
The top of it should be 3 feet below the surface of the ground in order for it to maintain the right temperature. When do you harvest radishes? You harvest radishes when they're about inch to inch and a half in diameter. If you leave them too long,
usually 30 days.
around 30, no longer than 30 days. But if they get
30
too
to
big, they
35.
get peppy, they get hot, they get woody. All kind of things begin to happen.
Are we in the southeast? We are in Mississippi, about 30 miles from the Gulf Coast.
Yeah, inland from the Gulf Coast.
Yeah. Prayer request.
Yeah, it's already 9
Pound
o'clock.
has heart issues and a stent put in, going for physical therapy. Do you leave your greenhouse sides up day and night? Yes.
Yes.
We have a, what do you call it? Not
We have screen on our.
screen, so we can leave ours up.
Yeah.
And I shut the doors and I shut the vents at the top so that no moths can go in at night. Moths is the biggest creatures that we have that do damage. So our sides have that, what did you call it? Hardware cloth.
It's got 1/8 inch square hardware cloth on it.
Ours is not open like most people's.
Yeah, we don't. Our sides are not where animals can go in it at night. Insects can't get in ours at night.
They can't go
We
in
have-
during the day.
We have screen on our doors, screen down the sides of it, and stuff like that. So that's now the people who won the thing need to send you their email.
Yeah, I need all three of them to send emails. Russell Farmstead, Weebason, and what did I say? Miss Vinny.
Miss Vinny.
Yeah. That way we've got it.
Farmer's Almanac says it's going to be hot this summer and cooler toward the end of September, about the same weather we've had in Alabama for my 62 years. That's great, but the Farmer's Almanac is not made for Alabama. The Farmer's Almanac was wrote for the state of Maine.
Unless you Google
Alabama specifically. If you're just reading from a book, the book was wrote for the state of Maine.
We didn't realize that.
And it's not really accurate for the Deep South.
Yeah, we went and looked at it and we were like, whoa. Y'all hit that thumbs up. Let's get it on up toward 1,000.
Get on up there where this thing will get in the algorithm and more people can watch it and get the answers to questions that we've been putting up.
What insects would eat the tops off baby collards? It's not squirrels and they aren't touching the kale or anything else.
Well, there could be a ton of things. I mean, it could be cabbage worms. It could be grasshoppers. I mean, it can be a ton of different insects doing that kind of damage.
Wood shutters versus blackout curtains, or both?
I would just do the blackout curtains. The shutters is not going to be. You need something on the inside of the house to keep the heat from coming inside the house.
All right. What percentage of light blocking for shade cloth?
Depends on your climate, where you live at. Us here in the Deep South, we have found that 40% works better for us than 50, because we tried 75, we tried 60, we tried 50. 40 seems to be the magic number for us.
What is your favorite tomato?
My favorite tomato, as far as taste, is the Cherokee Purple.
Renata wants to know, where do we get the blackberry plants from? Is that
We ordered
Grower
those
Solutions?
from Grower Solutions, I believe, or Gurney's. I don't remember if it was Gurney's or Grower Solutions.
One of the two. They're called Freedom Blackberries.
Yeah.
Do you leave strawberries in your GreenStalk until next year? Mine are still bearing and I don't know what to do after they finish. I leave mine in year round. Have you ever water glassed eggs? I can't afford a freeze dryer. I've tried it. I didn't like the result, but yeah, that is a good way. If you do it right, you can store eggs for a while. I put mine in the freezer when I didn't have ways to store, and I like that. But if there's no power, then that doesn't work either. But some people dehydrate. I've not dehydrated eggs, but a lot of people do.
Yeah, somebody asked what about garbage bags and stuff like that for over your windows. All that will work. It just all depends on You.
I see Mr. David the Good. Hey, thank you for stopping by.
Yes, David. Thank you for dropping in here.
Mr. David is over in Alabama.
Or Alabama, actually. He's right at the edge of Florida.
Yeah. Alabama. Got a lot of good stuff.
A lot of good stuff.
On.
He's got some good books he's wrote, guys. You can go over and check him. Books on composting and different things. Fantastic stuff.
And he sings sometimes some really funny, silly songs.
He does have some really funny songs when he sings. I watch most of his stuff. I may not comment on a lot of his stuff, but I do watch most of his stuff.
Yeah. He can write some pretty funny songs. I laugh out loud sometimes, and that it takes a lot to make me laugh out loud, but David can do it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Termites and fire ants are horrible in the South.
That would be an understatement, really. I mean.
What'd you say your favorite tomato was? I forgot. I didn't.
The Cherokee Purple.
Oh.
It's got the best taste to it.
It does.
Now, the second best one would probably be the Mortgage Lifter.
David says the sugar cane's doing great. Yes.
Good, David. I'm glad.
I don't know.
You don't know about what?
Tomatoes. I like the
Mortgage Lifter and the Cherokee Purple. That's my two favorites. Now the Amish paste, if you're gonna make ketchup or something, the Amish paste is the best.
Sandwiches, the Better Boy and Big Boy and all them. I know they're a hybrid, but y'all, they make a really good eating sandwich tomato.
Yeah, my thing is, I don't like a tomato that's got a lot of juice in it. I like a tomato that's more meaty than is juicy.
Yeah.
Mr. Ray's probably asking, I see people saying they'll pray for him, probably asking us to pray for his wife because she has lupus and other issues.
Yeah, and Maria's saying I could use a good compost book. David's is called Compost Everything.
And I don't think he composes quite everything like Billy does from Permanent Pasture.
Pasture's good.
Compost, if it stops on his property, he'll compost. You know what I mean? It don't matter what it is.
I think David's pretty close, but
Mississippi Soldier 369 says, "Can I make bread with buckwheat and how much to grow?" You can make bread with just about anything, even a zucchini you can make bread out of.
You can use beans.
You can use bean flour. You can use anything like that. Now, as far as how much to grow, that's going to depend on your family, how much bread you use, because it takes a lot of wheat.
Whatever. It takes a lot of whatever you do.
It doesn't matter what it is. It takes a lot of it to be able to be sustainable.
You got to have quite a few acres, I would say. At least an acre or two of wheat or buckwheat or whatever you want to do to have bread all year long, if you eat a lot of bread. So that's the other thing. David said he buried his sheep in the garden a few months ago, but left it off YouTube.
Well, hey, they will all compost, David. As long as you put some lime on top of them where other animals won't dig them up, they will compost and they will do just fine.
Hey, Jennifer, your daughter just got home. Danny's grandson.
My grandson just took...
what did I tell you? He won
all of his divisions in...
brought home the samurai and the gold.
Yeah, he brought home the gold and the samurai. He won every one of his fights by submission. Now that is excellent. He is into jiu-jitsu, and I am totally proud of him.
Yeah, can we compost trespassers? David just gave you an example.
Yeah, yep. Well, there's several ways you can deal with trespassers. Hogs is another one. Hogs will eat every bit of the evidence. Yeah. Did I just say that?
We didn't say none of that.
I didn't say that, did I? I was thinking out loud, I believe.
Yeah,
okay.
I think we were.
I think I was thinking out loud. Am I doing that from experience or what? Is that
problem?
Is that people who show up here and really ain't invited? Is that what happens?
I don't know. We've had a lot of people show up lately. We've had a
lot of people here
Beth
lately.
and Bud today.
Yeah, Beth and Bud came back. Oh, loved Beth and Bud.
Now, I didn't even think think about getting a picture till they'd done left, and
Yeah.
then they come back because they forgot something. They turn around and come back, and I still forgot a picture.
Yeah.
So, Jennifer said the matches are up on YouTube, so probably on Trey's channel.
She said on my YouTube.
Oh, on hers. Okay, on Jennifer Johnson's. Okay, you just have to go to hers.
Yeah.
Um,
Cul-de-sac said that's why I don't eat pork. Why? Because you're afraid they've ate somebody else. Wow.
Trespassers make
Make
good
this
bacon.
bacon. They really, really, if you stop and think about it, they really add to the flavor of bacon.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
It's hog boiling time.
Yep.
Not the teeth.
We can have a lot of fun do that.
Hogs
got to eat too, Rick says. I mean, hey, I agree, you know.
Can you compost leaves that have powdery mildew?
You can compost anything because powdery mildew really doesn't get locked up in the soil, to my understanding.
David might can answer.
David could probably be a little bit more apt to answer that than I could. But I've always composted everything. I've never had a problem. I mean, it's not like it's soil born.
Yeah. David reminds me of the "It's Good for the Soil" couple in the Book of Eli. That was funny.
Now yes, yeah, yes.
Those two old, they were about our age.
Yeah, they were. We can't say old people anymore because we is one.
But they were in the Book of Eli. These two homestead prepper people were stuck off by themselves, and when people come up, if they composted them,
Yeah.
They literally nothing went by them. They've been there years by themselves.
They've been there years.
Many years.
Yeah.
Y'all got to go watch the Book of Eli if y'all want to know what I'm talking about.
That's true. The Book of Eli is a really great one.
Hey, Bama, the secrets
in the sauce.
Billy, what's in that sauce?
Oh, the Scottish Wild Man says, do you follow Simply Gardening on YouTube?
Simplify
Gardening. No, I've never. Look, I don't have time to watch YouTube hardly. I've got a few channels like David's and a couple of other ones that I actually watch. And that's about all I do.
All right, David said when you compost even sick plants, the composting process breaks it down. I don't worry about it. There are many microorganisms in the mix that devour the bad guys. That's what I was thinking.
Now that's if composting is done correctly.
Yeah.
It's got to heat up, guys. You got to have the good amount of carbon. You got to have the right amount of nitrogen in it and stuff like that. So you got to make sure you get those balanced out right. You got to keep it wet. You got to get the heat right in it. I mean, compost is an art.
Thank you, Jimmy. She said she liked the sunflowers in my Crazy Days video. My sunflowers are about to go away. Are there any tips on getting tomato stains off your hands?
Well, I don't know that I've ever had tomato stains on my hands.
Well, it's like when you handle the plants, you know how they turn.
Oh, the plant now.
The green.
The green stuff. It's wash right off on the mine.
I mean, it will turn your hands kind of dark like this.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
My hands look horrible, y'all.
See that? That's my hands. That's my hands all the time.
I've washed my hands I don't know how many times today, and look at this. So if y'all see this on my hands, it is not because my hands are dirty. It's because I've been pulling weeds and doing stuff, and I've washed my hands probably umpteen dozen times today, and it gets in the skin and it don't come out. So if anybody's got any ways to do that, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Cul-de-sac, we're not making fun of nobody. If you knew somebody got eaten by a hog, I know people get shot by guns, but I still talk about guns, and I know people who's been murdered. I know people's had their throat cut. I still talk about all this stuff, and it doesn't mean I'm talking about them specifically. I mean, we can't sit back and take things to heart to the point we can't talk about them. I mean, that's you just got to move on. I mean, that's all I can say. As bad as it seems, you got to move on.
Those hands are beautiful from doing good work. Thank you, David.
Those are the hands of the Lord.
Do you have somewhere you can talk more freely than here on YouTube? Here at our house.
Here at my house with a cell phone. Now, when people come here and they want me to talk to them, I say you got to put that.
Always have mine.
You got to put that cell phone up there in the truck because I'm not going to talk to you if it's with you. You know,
I usually have mine half the time.
I won't talk if she's around with cell phone or nothing. I will only say
I go
certain things.
somewhere
I
else.
tell her to get in the Ranger and go with somebody else, and I'll talk to someone. Okay, we're actually going way over our time here tonight.
Yeah, put up your prayer requests and things like
Yeah.
that. And the 3 people that we mentioned, send me emails because I have no way of knowing your addresses if you don't.
I just like to have some of God's earth on my hands, you know?
Yeah, my hands are like sandpaper too, but I do have some lotion. Somebody's asking about the Spotify podcast. Miss Ashley got her.
We need to tell people
podcast
that.
up. And we need to talk about Billiam's thing too.
Well, Miss Ashley first. Her and Dean, they got their podcast up, Where I Was Found. Guys, if you want a spiritual uplifting, go listen to their podcast. Now Ashley and I did a podcast together on our channel, and she did a fantastic job on our channel. But if you want to hear her channel, it's called Where I Was Found.
Hers and Dean's testimony.
Her and Dean's testimonies on there, what happened in their life, what brought them to the point where they're at, how they were able to overcome tragedy and stuff like this through the help of the Lord. I mean, guys, fantastic channel. Go check it out, podcast. And then the thing Mr. Billy's at, now you're talking about...
it's a self-reliant... I don't know what it's
there's
called.
only so many tickets to be sold.
If Billy's still in here, Billy, can you put the link up? It's a self-reliant homestead get-together in Tennessee. It's June the 11th, 12th.
Don't ask me because I don't know.
My calendar's over there, but I don't know right off.
Everything in the world on top of it.
Yeah, y'all see my calendar. I have to have a big one. Let's see what date. That's June. The 11th and 12th.
The Self-Reliance Festival.
Yeah, in Camden, Tennessee. Self-Reliance Festival in Camden, Tennessee.
Now this ain't gonna be nothing like
all the others.
All the others, let me say that. This one is completely different.
Mr. Billy from Permapastures Farms is going to be
there. He's supposed to be butchering a pig.
He's going to show how to butcher a pig, and the second day it's going to come back as barbecue.
Yeah.
So you get to taste it. He's also doing a talk on his chicken on
steroids.
Something to do with
chicken tractors on steroids.
Chicken tractor on steroids.
Mr. Gypsum's supposed to be there from Metcalf Mills with his new mill, operating it.
Hopefully. And so if you want to check that out, Billy may not be in here right now. He was earlier, but it's self-reliant. What was the last word? Festival. That's it. I can't ever remember.
Guys, we also got to pray for our country because there's hundreds of thousands of people marching for the right to take life of the unborn.
Yes.
Which is totally out of the pit of hell. It's no different than it was in ancient Israel offering babies up to Dagon. You know what I mean? It's basically offering innocent souls up for the sins of pleasure.
We want to remember my mom. She had surgery this week, and my daughter Amy is having some issues. She's got to go to a neurologist soon, so we want to keep her in prayers. Miss Slippy is sick, so we want to keep her in prayer.
Yes, strawberries are more likely to rot if they're laying in the dirt.
Yeah. Plus bugs get to them faster.
Slugs.
Bugs. Slugs.
Same difference. Okay. I mean, guys.
Linda says healing for a spinal cord tumor.
Okay. Lots of physical things are starting to go on now. Guys, evil is literally running rampant in this country. It's been unleashed. I'm going to tell you, evil has been unleashed on this country. It's been unleashed on the world. Not just this country, but the world. There's things going on that CERN is playing a part in and other things that has unleashed some evil into this world. and it's I can't say that. Just be praying. That's all I can say. Just stay prayed up. Put on the whole armor of God. Have I ever raised a Jersey giant chickens? Yes, I've raised those before.
We have the white.
We got the Cornish cross right now.
Cornish cross.
I have a heart defibrillator checkup Monday. My feet have been swelling up. Okay, Gene. My feet stay swelled all the time, and my legs both. I mean, especially around where my socks are, they swell up real bad. This is a generation where people are pure in their own eyes and yet are not washed from their filthiness. I agree. I agree. I agree. AB 2223 in California is trying to get passed. It will allow for the murder of a child up to 1 year old.
Wow.
Oh, guys, I'm telling you, there's evil everywhere right now. I mean, it's everywhere, and you better. No, I don't even know how to say it. Not keep from getting in trouble. You just need to get close to God. That's all I can say. Just stay close to God. Keep His commands. And just try to do the best you can do. Put the whole armor of God on, because it's fixing to get bad, guys. I mean, I wish heaven help us. I mean, life as we know it, probably in the next 2 to 3 weeks, is going to start to change. If you don't believe me, in about a month from now, you'll say, "Oh my word, this is the most horrible thing I've ever seen." It's fixing to start. Fuel is going to be the first thing.
Which is going to do a domino effect.
It's going to be a domino effect. They're going to start taking the diesel fuel away first. If the cards fall where they want them to fall at, they will start taking diesel fuel away in about 2 weeks.
I saw on here somebody said that in Canada diesel fuel was $10, and I know Jan had told me that even her Etsy's, they were tacking on a $5 surcharge for fuel.
Yes.
And this is crazy when you buy a pack of seeds in Canada for $5 or $10, and you got to pay shipping, and then you got to add extra $5 to get it to you.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because I mean, when you stop to think about it, one person made a comment to me. He said, "Well, I'm glad I don't have diesel. I'll use gas." Well, it takes diesel fuel to get gas where it's going. It takes diesel fuel to get your groceries to a store if you depend on it. It takes diesel fuel to get parts to a parts house if you need parts. It takes diesel fuel to get your fertilizer to a factory, to a seed store.
Or your feed.
It takes fertilizer. It takes diesel fuel to get your mail to your house. It takes diesel fuel to do everything that we know to do. And when they take diesel fuel away, it's going to be a domino effect. Everything down the line is going to begin to be affected in one way or another, and we're all going to starve. If you're not growing your own food, you're probably going to starve. Now, I hate to be rude and candid sounding, but it is what it is. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. I'm not going to sit here and tell you you're going to be great and you're going to make it just fine, because I can't do that. That would be a lie for me to do that. I love people too much to keep them sitting here and trying to sugarcoat something. I don't want to get on the other side and be in heaven and have somebody look at me and say, "Well, you didn't tell me the truth." So I'm going to tell you the truth as much as I know. And if they get their way, they're going to cut out the diesel, or they're going to make it so expensive that right now, already to fill up an 18-wheeler is already costing over $1,000 for some people to fill up their 18-wheelers. And that's got to be passed on down to the consumer. At some point down the line, things are going to begin to go up in price, and you are going, and I and everybody else, for anything. Wanda and I have been we've known about this for about a month. We have been frantically trying to get everything to our house here that we think we're going to need in the next few years, just simply because we know it's fixing to get where we can't get it. And that's just the bottom line, guys. It is by design. There's not going to be any food raised on farms because tractors run off of diesel fuel. I mean, I blessed a man today with a diesel tank to take back to his farm to use for his place, an extra one I had that I didn't need. I blessed a man today with that. I just gave it to him. And I hope that it serves him well, because I want to see as many people survive this as they can. David said, I drive a semi. I know. David understands exactly what I'm talking about. I used to run an 18-wheeler cross-country trucking business, and I can tell you right now, I know what it cost then. And I would hate today to see the fuel bill for one of my trucks today, as much as we used to travel. Now, people that live, I'm going to just go ahead and be honest with you. I know we've been on here an hour and a half, but people who live around the coastlines are going to look at you and go, well, now things aren't that bad where we're at. You know why? It's because when they come in on the boats, you're going to get the first off the boats because they don't have to truck it very far. And you're going to see the first of everything. People that live further inland, in the center parts of the country and on in, are going to be the ones that's going to start seeing things dwindle the fastest because it has to be trucked too far to them. The next thing is going to be the pipelines. The northeast part of the United States is going to see fuel shortages coming before anybody else does, because they're going to start shutting down the pipelines. I don't know no other way to say it. I mean,
problems in Texas today.
They're having problems in Texas today. I mean,
with electricity.
Yeah, the grid system in Texas, they're having massive problems. They're like 20-something hundred. Oh man, my mind just went just as blank. Not kilowatts.
No.
Uh.
It's another word.
Yeah. Anyway.
They out a lot of power.
They out a lot of power because of just they're urging people not to be running dishwashers between 3 and 8 o'clock in the evening, not to be running lots of water and using up things that require a lot of, set your air conditioner on 78 or above. I mean, they have all types of things. All this information is coming in to me. You know, I don't know what to tell you. The heat is starting to get to people everywhere. Should I fill up my oil tank now? If diesel, yes, you better fill it up now, Donna. Do it now.
Well, even people with propane.
Propane, get your propane, because propane is trucked by diesel fuel. I mean, get whatever you need now. I don't mean wait till next weekend. I mean, when Monday morning comes, be there, get what you need. You're just not going to have a lot of time. They're going to pretty soon shut down all the exports and imports. As a matter of fact, some countries are already shutting down all the stuff that they export out of their country because they realize they're going to need it for their countries. There's guys, like one person here says, Brooke says, you got to even have diesel fuel to get your kids to school. I mean, yeah. Just think about it. Diesel, it has to do with everything. So, okay, I got to get off of this. We got to pray. We done been on here too long. We need the Lord's help, and we need it bad. Father, we come to you tonight. We just, we cry out to heaven. We're pleading with you, Lord. The evil that is running rampant in this country, Lord, is by design. We know the old serpent's behind all of it. And Lord, he is out to destroy everything good. And I just pray tonight that you will override for your people's sake, Lord. I could care less about some things, but I pray for your people, Father. I pray for the truly born-again Christian people here that are going to be suffering because of the lack of things that's coming. Father, they're going to start out by starving the babies, taking the formula away from the babies, and it's just going to be a domino effect from that point forward. I pray about all the people on here, Lord, that's got to have surgery. They got to have checkups. They got to have all kinds of tests run and stuff like this. People's got anxieties about what's coming, depression, Lord. You tell us not to worry about this stuff because you're going to take care of us. And that's why it's so important to go watch Ms. Ashley's podcast or listen to it, Lord, because where I was found, she explains, her and Dean, how they're able to overcome the fears and the anxieties in life and the depressions and the angers and all this kind of stuff. Lord, that's why it's so important for people to go over there and check her podcast out. And Lord, I pray for them as they get their life together and get it going and trying to be a blessing to you. And Lord, we know, we've already been told, the day is right around the corner where even I am not going to be able to talk openly about the Word of God anymore. And Father, that breaks my heart to know that it's just right around the corner. And Father, I pray that when that day comes, you'll give us all the power and the strength to stand. Even though they jail us, even though they take our lives, Lord, we pray for the strength and the grace to carry on. Lord, I pray for all the people in the chat tonight, whatever their condition is, whether it's physical, spiritual, emotional, financial, mental, whatever it is, Lord, I pray for every one of them tonight. In the name of Jesus, I pray, Father, that the Christ of heaven will answer their prayers in a way that will edify and glorify you, Lord, and be a blessing to them, Father. And Lord, if it's not time for them to have the blessing, then give them the grace they need to go through whatever it is that they're going to be facing, Father. The unknown lies ahead of us now, because those of us who are your children, Father, we don't think like the evil people think. So evil doesn't really enter our mind. That's why it can be so shocking and so devastating to us when we see the evil of this world, because our mind doesn't work that way. And Father, forgive those who create so much evil in the world. Father, go with us. Grant us your peace, your grace, and your mercy tonight, and forgive us all where we failed you in the kingdom of heaven. We ask these things in thy name. Amen. All right.
Somebody's asking, can you freeze dry breast milk? I'm
You
sure
know
you
what?
could,
I'm pretty sure you could and turn it into a powder.
but to me, the option of putting it in the freezer is a lot better. My daughter did that when she needed to. If she pumped extra, she did freeze it
Yeah,
for
you can.
future use when she had to run somewhere and she left her husband with the kids. I do remember that. So putting breast milk in the freezer is an option.
Yeah.
All right. Everybody's catching up.
Everybody's catching up with us there now. There we go.
We're kind of delayed here.
Yeah, y'all have already done. It's already over for y'all. We're just now seeing it.
Oh, so I need the 3 people that we mentioned earlier to.
Mom's already sent you something. He done told me.
Okay.
I say what he said. Yeah.
Okay. So and we'll have more giveaways in the future. I know we have more books. I just have to get everything together. And today's been hectic all day. Well, actually, the last 2 or 3 weeks has been hectic every day.
Yeah.
So.
Yes, me says yeah, that'll work until they turn off the electricity. Now we're gonna start seeing blackouts, guys. When you start watching our live streams at night, I'm gonna start giving you some little tidbits all the way at the end when most people have done checked out. I'm gonna start giving you some tidbits. We're gonna start seeing blackouts in our country. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you it's already pre-planned.
Texas already seeing
Texas is already beginning to experience them, and other parts of the country is going to begin to experience them. And it's going to be because of the extreme heat. They're going to start begging people to not use as much electricity. And when people don't comply, that's when they're going to start cutting the power. And then I'll go ahead and say this, there's parts of the country here in the very near future, they're going to turn your water off. Now that's a scary thought. There's going to be a mass migration in the near future to the eastern part of the United States because the western part of the United States is going to run out of water. So, I mean, guys, y'all think about this. If you're in an area where you depend on a river or a stream or something for your water, it's a good possibility that it's going to dry up here pretty soon.
All right, so we got to go. Let me see if I can find what I need.
Can you find what you need? You got to pull that down. There you go.
All right, so this one first.
Nope, this one first.
All right, guys.